Thanks for inviting us in on this Friday night. Tomorrow we're hoping to get new details about the man who was arrested today for the Delphi murders. This has been a day 5 years in the making, with so many of us waiting on some kind of answer. Right now we know that Richard Allen is in the White County Jail, but we don't know on what specific criminal charges other than a connection to the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German. And while we work to get more details, the community of Delphi and the families of Abby and Libby are holding their breath.
I don't know if this is going to bring closure for them or not. I hope it does, but how could it when you've lost your child? I don't think anything can bring closure to that.
So tonight we've got a lot of digging to do, from what's next in this investigation to the evolving search for a suspect over the last 5 years that has finally brought us here tonight, and what we know about this Richard Allen. Our Rachel Krause kicks off our coverage tonight with the new lead we just uncovered about how Richard Allen may have spent some time in Delphi.
After 5 years of watching and waiting, tonight the Delphi community is going to sleep, knowing an arrest has finally been made in the case. The suspect, Richard Allen of Delphi, now linked to the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German.
It's been a long time, and I think most people are probably figuring they're never going to catch him unless they snag him for something else.
Around the tight-knit community of Delphi Friday night, there was a feeling of relief among many in town. After years of searching, Richard Allen is now in police custody for his alleged role in Abby and Libby's death.
It's a great day.
County property records show Allen lives along Whiteman Drive in Delphi. We knocked on Allen's door Friday afternoon. No one was home. Neighbors in the area confirm Allen lives there, saying they're shocked to hear of his arrest. We also checked Indiana's public licensing agency and found a Richard Matthew Allen with a pharmacy technician license. We searched online and found only one pharmacy in Delphi, the CVS off Main Street. When we called to see if Allen was employed there, they directed us to corporate, who hasn't called back. Bill Carbaugh, who lives near Deer Creek just outside Delphi, says he's spoken with many investigators on the case throughout the years about who could be behind the murders.
Oh yeah, they talked to many people. They talked to me, and I told them that when they find him, I think he'll be either local or he's been local, because he knows the creek. He knew where to go.
While many around the Delphi community said Friday they didn't know Richard Allen, many now are feeling hopeful that with Allen's arrest, they'll soon have answers as to what happened to Abby and Libby and why.
There's a sigh of relief, but it's not over yet. So, you know, he has to be formally charged and go to court before there's true justice. So we just have to hope that they have all the answers and it's going to hold.
I'm glad they got him. I'm glad that chapter is closed, and I hope they get him a trial and get it all over with as soon as possible.
More information about Allen and his connection to the murders of Abby and Libby is expected to come from police during a press conference Monday morning.
Over the last 5 years, the search for the suspect has evolved several times. It started the day after Libby and Abby were found murdered, when we caught our first glimpse of the man in the blue jacket. A week later, another clue. The infamous words pulled from a recording on Libby's cell phone. Then, 5 months after the murders, we get our first sketch of the suspect. But this wouldn't be the only one. And in April of 2019, state police released a few more frames of the clip showing the man in the blue jacket, along with a slightly longer audio clip. Police also shared a new sketch of the suspect, but this raised eyebrows because you can see the stark difference between this one and the first one that we got. But this has been what we've been looking at the last 3 years as we search for answers.
When it comes to what actually happened to Abby and Libby back in 2017, we got our first new details about that just a few months ago. A search warrant in the case, leaked back in May, revealed new details about the crime scene. We know that one of the victims was missing a piece of clothing. There were no signs of a visible struggle or fight, and police recovered fibers and unidentified hairs from the scene. It also appeared the girls' bodies were moved or maybe even staged. But when it comes to the why and how those those are answers we're hoping that police can provide now that there's an arrest.
Over the last 5 years, the Delphi community kept fighting to get the latest suspect information out any way they could. Back in 2019, Brad Heath started including flyers of the suspect and details about the murder in every online order he sends out from his e-commerce business.
They go all over the country. It only takes one flyer in the right hands that might get a tip to crack the case.
Community members also host annual events in honor of Abby and Libby to keep the girls' memories alive, like this food drive every February helping food pantries and animal shelters.
If we weren't so resilient, if we weren't so positive, if we weren't trying to make good out of a bad situation like this, you know, that would show our children that, you know, evil can win, right? And evil doesn't win. Evil never wins, right? Good always triumphs.
The girls' middle school also spent years packing Christmas boxes in Abby's honor, sending gifts to kids in impoverished countries. It was all organized by her mother, Anna, as a way to keep their old family traditions alive.
This was a project that Abby and I did together, and she really enjoyed it. So it was just kind of something important to me to keep doing in the future in her honor.
The community also dedicated a park in Abby and Libby's honor off Hoosier Heartland Highway, about a mile north of the city, never giving up hope that police would finally find the suspect.
So when it comes to what's next, here's what we know. Police are planning another announcement Monday at 10 a.m. And during that discussion, we're hoping to learn what led police to Allen. Was he among the thousands of tips that they've received over the last 5 years? Was he a suspect from the start? And what evidence ties him to the scene and the murders of Abby and Libby? We'll be at that announcement Monday morning to get answers to as many questions as we can. And we're going to bring it to you live. You can watch it here on 13 News. You can also stream it on our app.